Has anybody ever wondered why AI is actually free and accessible to everybody?
Why do you think that AI is free right now?
Generative AI is making everyone think the same. And this is what we call homogenization of thought. So let me explain. Hi, my name is Katarina Doria. I'm an AI.
Move fast, break things, movers and shakers. Silicon Valley runs on this kind of mentality, which I think is criminal since they do absolutely nothing to incentivize this kind.
Those who do not study history are destined to repeat it, and those who do not study consumer abuse are likely to themselves become abused consumers. So let's talk about why AI is free and what their long-term plan is for you and the people you love. In order to tell this story, I have to reference one of the most egregious abuses of consumers in history, and that was committed by your favorite chocolate supplier, Nestle. Back in the 1990s, Nestle noticed that their consumer pool in the United States was shrinking for their baby formula products. Rather than try to reformulate or better appeal to American consumers, they decided to take their products straight to Africa. The question, daunting Nestle's boardrooms, was how do we convince mothers who have a completely natural way to feed their children safely that they need our formula? Well, in all their nefarious genius, Nestle decided that the way to do it was to go in and hand out free samples of formula. So they sent in Nestle workers dressed up like nurses and had them give baby formula samples to new mothers. Then they sent them home and waited. Well, what could possibly be wrong with that? That is the question that cost 10 million lives. Nestle handed out baby formula that would last just long enough for the mother's breast milk to dry up. There is no way to get your breast milk to come back once it is dry, and this left so many mothers with nothing to feed their children except baby formula mixed with dirty water. And of course, there were warnings on the packages that said, if you mix this with dirty water, your baby will die. But of course, most of these women were illiterate. As a result, with no other options and no better resources and no knowledge to protect themselves, these mothers killed their own children with the product Nestle offered them. An approximated 10 million children. What could this possibly have to do with AI? Well, I'm sure you'll be shocked and disgruntled to hear that big tech does not have more respect for you than Nestle had for African mothers and children. Sam Altman, often the canary in his own coal mine, has already gone on public record saying that they see a future in which intelligence is a utility, like electricity and water. See, we already have studies that show conclusively extensive AI use leads to cognitive decline. They are giving you these products free for the exact same reason that Nestle gave their free samples to mothers. They are waiting for your natural resources to dry up so they can force you into a lifelong payment plan. And if you think this isn't a big deal, you're wrong. And if you think this will be easy to litigate, you're wrong. And if you think people aren't going to die, you're wrong. They're already dying. So if it sounds too good to be true...
Why is AI free if nothing's free? Well, there's actually a price you pay, and it's a pretty hefty one too. The price that's actually being paid is your own mind. AI destroys your ability to self-educate and think about things. Basically, in the long term, AI is going to make society a lot dumber, and people are going to rely on it. And that's basically their end goal. People will use it and then brush it off as like, oh, it's just AI. But, in the long term, it's basically, we're going to depend on it. And that's exactly what they want. They want you to depend on it. And whether you realize it or not, information is a drug. And when AI just instantly gives you that hit of dopamine release, when it gives you all that information, you're secretly getting hooked. Once the whole society is dependent on AI, they will have full control. There's not much you can do to help others, but you can only help yourself. Because the search for information is basically you as a human hunting for your food, which is your information. But when it's instantly given to you, then what is the point of the hunt? If you're instantly given the food, why even hunt? It want you lazy.
Move fast, break things, movers and shakers. Silicon Valley runs on this kind of mentality, which I think is criminal since they do absolutely nothing to incentivize this kind of thinking in any way, shape, or form until you reach that higher state within your career. AI is exacerbating this issue and absolutely annihilating your capacity to create something unique. You exist in either a state of creation or consumption. We've already automated consumption. Instagram shows you what you want to see before you even know what you want to see. And now we've automated creation as well, where all you need is a prompt. We no longer consume with intent, and we no longer output with intent. This leaves no room for any kind of cognitive critical thought in terms of applying your own experience, your own perspective, and that's the only thing that separates us from machines. So how are we supposed to move fast and break things if all that they've ever taught us is how to stay slow and comply? Bitches. Imagine the kids that are born 10, 15 years later down the line. No frame of reference, nothing. I'm terrified.
Do you want to know why all these AI tools are free? It's because they're stealing your ideas and looking at how you use these AI tools and then copying and cloning it, making it better, and release their own AI tools. It's a smart idea, actually. It's just that it's very, how should I say it? It's very dark. And it's not the first time in the software world that people have done this. It's just that now they're just watching and making everybody do it. So that's why you see these companies like, we got a new tool, how to write code, or how to do finance, how to do this and that. Yeah, they've been watching you and using the tool and seeing what it works, what it doesn't work, and then they figured out to use that data to create these AI tools that's better than what you probably are doing, because there'll be 1,000 people trying to solve this one thing in Excel spreadsheet per se. Anyways, now you know. If you want to learn more, give a follow. I'm happy to chat more about AI.
Has anybody ever wondered why AI is actually free and accessible to everybody? Living in a capitalistic society where everybody is obsessed over money, it makes you really question, why do they make AI tools free? Not to be a conspiracy theorist, I genuinely believe that lots of the times we trade our convenience for control. Like, we all know that one friend that at any moment in life, they use ChatGPT to try to solve that problem. And while it's funny now, I do believe in the next 15 to 20 years, we're all kind of heading towards that. And AI is going to actually kind of seep into all of our daily lives. And the byproduct of that is us losing our critical thinking skills and losing our independence. Maybe I'm just overthinking here, but tell me if I'm right.
Oh, you want a bump? No problem, man. First one's on the house. Oh, you want another? How about you give me your credit card information and all your data?
All the working women out there, the CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp, who's also one of the most influential thinkers, leaders in tech right now, just went on CNBC and said this, and I'm going to read it on my phone because I don't want to mess up the words. If you are going to disrupt the economic and political power of highly educated, often female voters, this technology disrupts humanity's trained, largely democratic voters and makes their economic power less, and increases the economic power of occasionally trained, working class, often male voters. Now, set aside the politics, I just want to focus on gender, because separately, last week, Anthropic, who is at the frontier of AI development, published a data-driven article about the impact of AI in general on jobs and the way that we work. And one of their key findings that workers who are most likely to be displaced on average are 16 points more likely to be female. So now we have two discrete data sources kind of implying the same thing. And look, women have always been underrepresented in tech, so maybe it's correlated to a gap that already exists. If you're a woman watching this, like me, take time to invest in learning these tools. It's investing in yourself.
Generative AI is making everyone think the same. And this is what we call homogenization of thought. So let me explain. Hi, my name is Katarina Doria. I'm an AI ethicist, and it's my mission to help people understand what's happening with AI and how they can stay protected from this technology. So if you want to stay safe in the age of AI, please don't forget to follow me for more. So basically, homogenization of thought is the idea that today we have millions of people all around the world using ChatGPT and other generative AI tools to read, write, and think. And the problem with that many generative AI tools were trained with millions and millions of data points, and all of those ideas got mashed into a model, which means that models like ChatGPT have a personality, a frame of seeing the world. So if we have millions of people reading, writing, and thinking using ChatGPT and other generative AI tools, basically we have millions of people learning from the same brain, and therefore having their brains molded by the same opinions, creating the homogenization of thought. Now, the thing that bugs me the most is that this trend already happened in different places. Remember before the iPhone, where phones were completely different? Some had keyboards, some folded, some flipped. They were colorful, but now with the mainstreamification of the iPhone, all phones started to look the same. Before, cars used to be colorful. They were green, they were yellow, they were blue, they were purple, and now you can only get cars that are white, black, and gray. So the same harmonization that happened with the phones and the cars are now happening with the thoughts, creating a really sketchy and scary future where everyone thinks the same. And what I'm trying to bring here is that if the harmonization of phones and cars and basically products that we buy was already bad, imagine what will happen with having millions of people think the same, ideate the same, criticize the same, having people completely neutralized. That is not beneficial to anyone in an individual level and as a society. We need plurality of thought to innovate, to ideate, to brainstorm, to push our society forward. We can't all look the same and sound the same and think the same. That will be the ruin of our society. But slowly and surely, this is where we're walking towards. A society that all looks the same, that all sounds the same, and all thinks the same. So that is why I'm here today as an AI ethicist to tell you, wake up. Please stop outsourcing your brain to generative AI. Stop learning everything you know from a tool that has a really specific point of view of the world. Please continue to read, write, and think for yourself. Don't let your uniqueness, your POV, and your opinions to be homogenized by generative AI. Be careful. Don't let generative AI tools mold the way that you see the world. Your future self will thank you for that. Okay, so this was it. I'll see you in the next video for more AI safety talks. And until then, please everyone, stay safe. And please don't forget to share this video with your friends and family so they can also learn about the harmonization of thought and they can protect themselves from this as well. Bye-bye.
Why is AI free? Why do we get this incredible technology like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all for free? This is not a conspiracy theory. I love these tools. I've worked in tech and digital for years, but I think everyone should know what the deal really is here and why it's free. Now, you might think I'm going to say the old, if the product you're using is free, you are the product. Not exactly. That applies to social media, YouTube, Google. They give you something for free so that they can run ads, and that's how they make money. So it's your eyeballs, your attention. That is the product that's being bought and sold in those places. But the business model with AI is different. Yes, ChatGPT have started with the ads, but the other AI companies have been pretty clear they're not going to do that, because ultimately it's just not the central business model of AI. There are actually 3 reasons why you get to use AI for free. Firstly is the age-old freemium model. Think about how Spotify or Canva work, right? There's a fairly generous free plan, but it becomes part of your life, and then you start to run into restricted usage in some way, and you just want to upgrade to get everything. Now, FYI, I'll cover this in more detail in another video, but you currently get the most free usage with open models like DeepSeek. But if we're talking about the big US-based companies, then I'd say it's Google Gemini, slightly less free usage with ChatGPT, and quite a lot less free usage with Claude. So they're all trying to strike that balance between pushing you onto a paid plan without making the free plan too annoying. The second reason that AI is free is your data. So when you use the free version of something like ChatGPT, your conversations are used to train and improve the model, and that's on by default. You can opt out, but most people don't know about that. If you want to, go and look in ChatGPT in settings, data controls, improve the model for everyone. In Claude, it's in settings, privacy, help improve Claude. You can do that. It's personal preference. I don't personally think it matters either way. I don't think there's a massive privacy risk, but if you want to switch it off, you can. And that data taken from hundreds of millions of free users is invaluable. I mean, it could be the very thing that helps them improve their product and gain the competitive edge and ultimately win the AI race. So it's quite a big deal. Okay, the third reason that AI is free, we're going to call investor subsidies. So every conversation you have with, let's say, ChatGPT is costing them real money. OpenAI is projected to lose about $14 billion this year, and only about 5% of their nearly 1 billion users actually pay. So those free users are effectively being subsidized by venture capital, by huge investment in OpenAI. It's essentially what Uber did, right? When Uber first came out, it was ridiculously cheap to take a ride, and investors were essentially picking up the tab with the hope that it would become a mass market product. And it did, it worked, and now they're not quite as cheap. Well, the same thing's happening in AI right now. And actually, the amount of investment is so big to prop up all that free usage. There's a very real concern that if any point it becomes clear that that huge financial gamble, we're talking trillions of dollars here, won't actually start coming back the other way to investors, that the economy will suffer not just a correction, but like a massive shock. And it could lead to a huge global recession and the biggest overinvestment in history. But we don't know about that yet.
Why do you think that AI is free right now?
Well, because they want to get us addicted to it so that later we'll be forced to pay because we have to have it.
That too, but every document that you upload, for a second medical or legal opinion, every question, every email, whatever you are putting into AI, it's being used to improve itself. So knowledge is the currency of AI. Billionaires like Sam Altman and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and IBM and Salesforce and SoftBank, basically you're paying for AI with your personal information. So just something to keep in mind.
So they've scraped the entire internet. Now they got to start scraping us as well.
Exactly.